the question box, you will get a copy of the recording. I'll tell you in a moment when you can make a comment to get a copy of today's slides as well, okay? So right now, make sure you find that question box and you comment in there. I do have closed caption on to make sure that this is inclusive for everyone. So if it's bothering you, please try not to look at it, but I have had several requests already in the question box to keep that on. All right, let's dive in, everybody, because we got a lot to go over. First, what is a Google Business Profile? You're in the wrong webinar if you don't know what a profile is, because I'm not going to go over that in depth. I'm going to touch on that about 2 or 3 slides, but this is really for people who already have claimed and verified their Google Business Profile, or you're in the verification process and you're ready to know how to maximize and optimize it, because a lot of business owners or businesses do not put all their information. So completing the profile is key. We'll talk about completing the profile. So not creating, but completing. And then more importantly, the lion's share of our time is going to be on how to manage that business info to maximize and optimize what you're doing. And like I do in every webinar, I close out with free resources that you have available to you. And again, everything I'm talking about today is 100% free. So if you're not familiar with it, this is what the Google Business Profile looks like. All right, Cindy, I see you. Kelly, hello, Heather, Melissa. Oh, perfect. I'm so glad. Thank you. And Michelle, welcome from San Antonio. This is what it looks like, mostly on a mobile device, because we know that 76% of people go to a mobile first before anything else. In fact, if you're building out any online presence, make sure you build out for mobile first. If you've got limited time and energy and money, build out mobile first, because that's where people go, and that is just going to continue to escalate in people utilizing mobile first. So we know that. We see the photos. It's a great place, if you're not familiar with it, to make sure, or you have one, but you've not used it in a while, so you're dusting it off. Know that it's a great place to really develop credibility. It's your opportunity to make sure that your information is correct across all devices, across Google. Understand that Google is the #1 search engine in the world, and it became #1 because the information on Google is correct. More often than not, it is correct. Now, I know there's a lot out there, but there is the majority of items that are found are correct. And the only reason they're correct is because we go straight to business owners and ask them to put their information in. So you have the ability to control that. If you're not controlling that, that is determining your first impression. We know that your online presence is your first impression. This is where people go. In fact, I've spent a few weeks teaching and training people that their website is the new front door. This is the new shop, because people even look here first if they want to know if you have inventory. And do know that when you are seen in their local area, because everybody's honed in and focused in doing business with small business, when you consider all that's involved in shipping and packing and all the supply chain issues that are occurring right now, people are going to as much local as they can. So if you're showing up, now they know that they can do business with you. Of course, it looks good across all devices. So keep that in mind. This is a powerful, local focused tool that makes sure your information is correct across all of Google search. On any device, it looks good. It is mobile responsive. There's no pinch and zoom or swiping side to side to finish what you're looking at, which is key, because people, if they have to zoom or swipe side to side, are not going to spend any time with that, and they'll go quickly to the next result that's there. Now, where some people make mistakes in setting up their Google Business Profile is right here at step 4. So I highlighted this slide because I wanted to show you this step. People will think that they have to say where their location is. You do not have to say that. You do have to put your address in, because the postcard has to come to an actual mailing address. It cannot be a P.O. box, all right? It absolutely cannot be a P.O. box. And there are certain businesses where it will not be able to, you will not be able to claim a Google Business Profile. Like, for example, if it's a house for sale, all right? The realtor, your real estate office, can be claimed as a business Google Business Profile. But a house you're selling, a vacation rental, none of those can be considered the actual Google Business Profile. It has to be the leasing office, or has to be the agent office. Make sense? So this is where a lot of people slip up. They don't choose yes or no. Now, yes means you want them to come on to your location. You want them to see you whenever your hours are open. You want them there. No, though, means that you deliver that product and goods and services to your customer's location. So if you are delivering, let's say, makeup, let's say you're an independent makeup representative or skincare representative, or let's say you're delivering carpet and you're installing it. So you have a warehouse where you keep all the rolls and your forklift is, but you're not ready to receive customers. In fact, when you're there, it's usually between jobs when you're grabbing the next equipment or next tools you need and you're going to the next job, okay? So that's when you would say no. Now, either if you answer yes or no, you still have to put the address in there. That is key, okay? Because if they can't get the postcard to you, then they can't verify that you're the owner. And right now, 99% of all verifications are happening by postcard. So do keep that in mind. You do have the opportunity to check yes or no. And if you've already done this step and now you have your business profile, go into the info section and you can also select that as well. Now, just like with the address, this is key and important. And you need to look back at your Google business profile to make sure that you have your service areas checked. Now, this is the biggest pushback, I should say, friction that small businesses have with this one is because they want to serve anybody, everybody, and somebody. I mean, I hear it all the time. Maria, I serve nationwide. I serve the entire state of Texas. I serve the entire Southwest. I serve the entire East Coast or the Gulf Coast of Texas. I can cover the entire West Coast. That's great. There are wonderful tools for that. But the Google business profile, its superpower is local business. So here's where you knock yourself out of the park of visibility, and where many do. So not just you, many small businesses do this. And they'll put, let's say, I'm in Midland, Texas, right? So Midland, I'm here. I put Odessa, 16 miles away. I'm good. I'm within 25 miles, so that's nice and local. And I know I'm a Texan, so I understand 25 miles is just down the road, nothing to us, right? But in the Google Maps and Google Business Profile, you want to stay within at least 30 to 40 miles around your area. That's the sweet spot. Now, some can push it to 50. Google instructions will tell you you can go to 100. I know that you start diluting the tool, but trying to get a business owner to agree to do that is not always easy, because they're not aware that how much they dilute the tool. Anytime you go out further and further, now you're trying to compete with everybody else and you're showing up lower and lower on the list. That's the next question I'll usually get is, Maria, I don't show up. Or I show up on the third scroll that I have to look up, or I'm not at the very top and I know I'm doing all these things. What usually knocks them out of the park is that they are overextending where they say their service area is. Remember, the power of this tool is local. So put local, and I try to look whenever I'm working directly with somebody and their Google business profile, I try to keep them within 25 to 30 miles. Yes, even in the state of Texas, even in Oklahoma and New Mexico, right? Because I worked with a lot of people in both the areas, which I know you can go for miles and not see another town. But do understand, I try to keep it as local as possible to really strengthen and make sure that you're visible, because if people don't know you exist, they can't do business with you, right? All right, now, once we do that, you can connect to Google Ads. And the reason I encourage you to connect to Google Ads, whether or not you have ads running right now, I still encourage you to do that. You can connect when you're in the dashboard, and I'll show you that when I do a live demo in a moment. If you want me to, just let me know in the question box when we get to that time. But the reason I say that is because remember what I said about Google being the #1 search engine. And the reason it knows and delivers good information when somebody's searching for something that's relevant to them is it confirms the information through several of its tools. The more Google tools that you link together, the stronger and the more confirmation Google has and the algorithm has that your information is correct. So if I see your information here in a Google business profile and you set up your Google Analytics, verifying that you are the domain owner of a website, verifying your location and your address, because every website has to have the address at the bottom of it, especially if you're going to do any email marketing. That's part of the policies whenever email, there's the email guidelines that you have. So you have to have that disclosure. If you're doing any ads, you also have to have that disclosure. So now the two are linking together, confirming that information. Now you bring in Google Search Console, which verifies again that you're the owner. It also showcases that you keep your site updated and you are responding to things. Your site is healthy. It's mobile responsive. It's got the security in it. Now it's confirming even more to Google that this information is correct. And maybe you have a Google Merchant Center account and a Google Ads account and maybe a YouTube channel and maybe you have a Google site, and you're tying all of these Google tools together. Again, these are all pings confirming that your information is correct. Okay, so the more you can link together the tools, not only does it help you get hefty, very valuable insights into the actual path of your customer and their decision journey, but it also helps solidify that information is correct with Google. So let's dive in deeper how to manage the business info. But now that I'm at this slide, I do want to go back to see if there's any questions here. You said we'll get a recording. Yes, absolutely. And then if you want a copy of today's slides, make sure you comment here as well. I set mine as a website, including the app email, but being charged each month to keep the .com. Okay, that is Google Domains, which is actual third party. And so that's something that's separate because you do have to pay for a domain name. But that is not actually Google related, but that is a Google domain because we do market that for a third party. So I would get with your third party seller for that. Let's see. What in the world? What if the world is your market? If the world is your market, that's great. Target the world with other tools, but the Google business profile is local. Its heavy lifting is in local. If you try to make it do something that it's not, it's just not the right tool for that. It's just like in a toolkit, not everything needs a hammer. It's the same thing here. The Google business profile is for local. Look for other tools like Google Ads, look out to social, look out to YouTube, because YouTube has the amazing reach to go global and utilize those. And in fact, YouTube Shorts have such a powerful way to reach not only all of the YouTube subscribers, but the YouTube viewers, and it goes global. It's a great way for you to reach out that way as opposed to your Google business profile. Could you repurpose a short and use it in your profile? Absolutely, because a business profile can take video, so you could do that there, but make sure you're also utilizing it in YouTube because that is where people also search. Just so that you know, Google's the #1 search engine in the world, but YouTube, excuse me, YouTube is #2. And so they are both owned by Google. It's important for you to understand that all of this confirmation together helps you be seen in both tools if you have a YouTube channel. Make sense? Right, let me just make sure there's not any other burning questions here that I looked away from. All right, everybody, great. All right, so to get a copy of the webinar, Catherine, you just commented there, you're so good to go. If you want a copy of today's slides, you did it right at the right time too. All right, let me just close off this mic real quick. I've got to clear my throat one more. Right, there we go. Now, let's talk about how you can manage your information directly on Google, because making sure your information is correct and complete is the #1 step in filling out your profile and maximizing how to use it. If you don't do this, what you're doing then is you're building your foundation on shifting sands, which is terrible to do because now you've got to go back and recreate, or you might be missing one of the legs that you need to help your visibility and your business be seen, okay? So to support this, here you can go to your Google business profile. You can direct it. You can actually change it directly on search. If you're logged into the Google account, so this could be your free personal Gmail account, or it could be your free Google account. If you're logged in there already and you bring up the search tab in a window, it will remember your credentials and you will see right away that you have the ability to edit right here within search. Now, what can you edit? You can edit your business info. Use all 750 characters to make sure you're aligning with what people are searching for. Now, I'll show you that and how to do that a little bit later. So I'll show you how you can find out what people are searching for, but it needs to describe your business. It's not keyword stuffing, so it needs to be very, very much readable and make sense, because Google does measure the user experience even much more than SEO, search engine optimization. So this is not just about filling it with keywords. Make sure the information is correct. And you use all 750 characters to really talk about what you deliver to your customers. Use their words though. Do not use your words. We're too close to our business. We know it too well that we have no idea how somebody who doesn't know our name and doesn't know that they have that there's a product or that there's a service that can serve them or a solution, they don't know that we exist. We need to know how they search. So talk to your best customers who've come to you and ask them, what were they looking for? What did they start with? Ask them about their actual search journey, because now you can learn from them and apply that, as opposed to you trying to come up with and telling them what they should do. No one wants to be shit on, right? Should, S-H-O-U-L-D. So keep that in mind. Update your hours as well. When people see you are open and they get and take all the effort to come to your location and you're closed, they are not mad at Google, they're mad at you. And that's not the first impression you want, because first impressions are lasting. It takes 54 other contact times to change a first impression, and we don't have that kind of time. You can also add products. Now, for those of you who have a business profile, I'd love to know, let me see here. It's okay to change my address and use, okay, so once you have verified it, okay, once you've verified it, then what you will do, Jessica, is check that no, you don't want people to come to your location, and you can do that. But do not do that in the middle while it's been 5 to 10 days and your postcard has not come yet. Don't do that in the middle, because you get in this horrible verification loop that you will need somebody to help you get out from. All right, perfect. Everybody has a profile set up. I'm just making sure, because this is the advanced class. If you want to know the how to set up your profile, we're not covering that today, but I will have another webinar on that. So do get back with your Google partner who invited you, okay? So now let's talk about your products. How many of you have added your products and service in Google Business Profile? Let me know in the question box, okay? Yes, sometimes it is a long process, absolutely. So okay, that was kind of a lengthy question there. There's somebody who had a lengthy, it was kind of a, I think a background story that went with it. I'm not going to be able to respond to that right away, just because it is. I mean, there's about 80 of you in here, and the comments are coming pretty quickly, but I will come back to it. Just make sure you repost it at the end, just in case it gets lost in the feed, but I will ask for it and call out for it, because as long as you guys have questions, I'll hang out here, okay? Even though we will end on time and I'll be respectful of your time, that's most important, to get your question answers, all right? So services have been added. Yay, I see some people here, all right. Elizabeth, Myra, Angel, Susan, great, Ellen, all right, Maria, thank you. All right, Chelsea, Laura, Carol, perfect. So if you've added your product or service, while I'm showing you here what this will look like next, when you do that, know that this is a view of products, but you can do the same with services, okay? So, and then we'll go into photos after that. But when you're adding in a product, this is what you look like. You'll actually upload the photo and the name of the product, and then you can select or create a category for that product. So you can decide exactly if that product is like, are these all different headlights you're selling? So it could be a headlight carousel of your products, because you've put more than 3 photos in there, and so it's now a carousel of products. You can also put the price range. So you don't have to put the exact price. You could say it's a range of $5 to $50. It could be starting at $60, whichever you feel comfortable with to communicate. But again, realize that this is showing up in your Google Business Profile, and that's a lot of good prime real estate that's showing up and really giving you good visual real estate. Remember what we talked about? People want to look and see what's within their radar, what's in their view, and if they can see a little bit more about your business, now you have a little bit more of their attention, right? And now you're going to go ahead and put any information that they need there about your product, and now you can click save. So understand, you can do this for all of your products as well as your services. Remember what I said a moment ago, you can add products or services. Now, if you don't see the ability to add products, or you don't see the ability, or you have that ability and you don't see the ability to add services, it could be the category that you selected. This is something that I do want to talk to you about, because a category, your business category, there are about 3,000. You chose one main category at the beginning, but there are 9 subcategories that you can also choose to really help distinguish what your business is. For example, you might sell spices, but you might also sell fragrances, and maybe you sell pans, cooking pans, maybe you sell coffee, so you sell other products. You can include that in the subcategories. That will give you the ability to really make your unique business stand out and be found for those categories. Plus, make sure that the functions like product and service are available for all the categories. Make sense? So sometimes you might not see service because Google sees one category that's a product-based category, or it could be vice versa. Now, as you're editing those business categories, remember that your name, you can go in there now and make sure your name is your real world name, so you can update that. You have a primary business category and you have 9 additional categories, so I got a little ahead of myself on the slides, but you see you can change that and add actually to that, which really helps distinguish your uniqueness. And then of course, write your business description. I again encourage you, go to your current customers and ask them how they describe you. In fact, that's a great practice and exercise that I teach people to do. And that is, ask people, you know, when you describe me to people or when you introduced me to people, what do you say? In fact, a lot of times when I am working with people that know me quite well and we go, let's say, to an event or at a conference and meeting, I listen to the way they introduce me. Because if the introduction is, well, this is Maria and she can tell you better what she does, that is a clue that that really means I have no idea what she does, so I'm going to let her talk about it. So the same thing for you as your customers are referring and they're talking to people, as you listen to them online. So social listening is a thing because we do refer in a tweet, in a share, in a comment. Make sure you take a look at what and why and how they're describing you, because that will give you a clue onto what the words are that they're using when they're searching and what matter to them. Now, when you're on your Google business profile, you may see this. We've seen a few people run into this, and that is the editorial summary. You see that right up there? That's different from the business description. This is the business description. It's 750 words. This is a short 1-sentence, sometimes 2-sentence summary. Now, you don't have any control over that. That is something that Google is putting together as an editorial summary, and it's new. And just like anything in new, it's still learning. So it's going through its AI learning. But I do want you to know that if you see that, that's the reason why, because some people have seen that and they become concerned because it doesn't truly describe their business. Again, look at your categories and your subcategories. Make sure you're taking full advantage of those. But as you look at that, right, so that's the top of that search right here, that Google business profile. That's the top of it. But look at the rest of it that you have to really start owning that visual real estate and branding yourself. You have products and services here, and you can put those in a carousel. So that's what that blue arrow is denoting, that you can increase the space. And again, that visibility of your profile by adding products and services there. You can also, right here, as you see, answer questions. I was just working with a team and I did a search on finding out what are the 4 or 5 top questions that customers are searching for that are the most popular searches, and that's exactly what they did. They went ahead and answered all 4 or 5 of those questions. We were able to put that in here. Here's the thing with question and answer. Once you post a question, you can answer it yourself as the owner of the Google business profile. You will not get penalized for that. You can also upvote it one time, which means give it a thumbs up, right? But it doesn't show visually to everyone till it has 3 upvotes. So it needs 3 thumbs up. So you can be one. Now find 2 other people who can do that for you so you're visible. And now you can address what are the top 5 questions people have, and have each one be a question that you've asked, a question that you've responded to. So it'll show the owner responded, and then 3 upvotes, make sure that it's visible. All right. So that's another way you can expand out. See how that shows up even before your business description? And now your reviews. The reviews are powerful. That third-party validation is so important because people are looking for other people's recommendations, their experiences. We as business owners can stand all day long and say, we're amazing, our service, our product is wonderful, but we are biased. We are looking for that unbiased recommendation. So people are looking at your reviews. When was the last time you responded to your reviews? Know that 97% of businesses do not say thank you for a great review. They look at all the bad reviews and they address them if they even look at reviews. But 97% will not say thank you for a great review. If you want to stand head and shoulders above everyone else, say thank you for a great review. And under this then is where you actually see the description, where the arrow's pointing, but I did block it out for their privacy. So I do want to show you though, that's where the description shows up. So see how much visual real estate you have to play with before you get to the description. But a lot of people only have their description done and nothing else. And that's really key, even for local businesses, because as I said, Google Business Profile, its superpower is local focus, hyper local, and people locally are wondering whether or not you have curbside delivery, do you have special hours, do you have senior hours, do you have outdoor dining, are you dog friendly, do we have pickup time? They want to know all of this, and do you have the inventory in stock before I venture out, okay? Now you can edit your profile contact too. Remember, 3 phone numbers. So let's say you're real busy here in this webinar and somebody's calling right now. Anybody who's been in real estate knows the person that gets the business is the person that answers the phone, because they're calling off of a sign or calling what they saw from what they saw on their phone, right, in the listings. So make sure you have someone answering your phone. You can connect up to 3 phones to your Google Business Profile. So if you're busy working away with a customer or in a webinar, you still have 2 other people that will respond and answer. So you have that great opportunity. And you can also include a link to your website. If you don't have a website, not to worry, you don't need one, but it also strengthens Google's information and credibility that you have, because now it can go ahead and link out to your website, okay? Your location, you do have the opportunity. A lot of people will ask me, oh, the pin's in the wrong area. You can go into, once you've verified, again, this is only available to people who have verified their Google Business Profile. You can go into the location setting there and you can drop and pull and drag. So you can click and drag the pin wherever you're located. So the address may be one way and maybe Google picked it up and put you way over here on this corner, but even though your address says this, the actual pin on the map is different. You can drag it over here. But do know that it takes about 30 to 60 days for this change to show up in Google, because what happens is the satellite goes overhead and has to confirm that this information is correct. If it's a cloudy day, a windy day, dusty day, you know, sometimes here in Midland, that's why you hear me coughing a lot, because I'll look up middle of the afternoon, the sky is orange and I'm like, Lamisa is passing by. And so I know a satellite won't be able to pick that up. It has to make another pass, which means another 30 days. Once it's confirmed, then it will move a pin, okay? So again, if you don't serve them in your location, make sure you leave this area blank, right? If you don't want them to come to your house, don't put that address in there after you've verified. Remember what I said, everybody who is at this point needs to be verified or certified that they are the business owners. Now you can go in and put your hours in. This is very key, okay? We've got, let me see, March, we've got Easter coming up. Maybe you're going to be closed, special hours for spring break. We have holidays that happen too. So you do have the opportunity to add special hours, and then also take a good look at your hours. I see a lot of people who say they're 24/7 because they just want all the business. But they don't realize that when they mean 24/7, that somebody could be using Business Profile and now be trying to connect with them and call and wanting one of those 3 phone numbers to answer, but it's 3:30 in the morning. Who's going to answer? Okay, so keep that in mind, that you're giving them the best and correct information to give them the best experience in working with you. And of course, there are several other features that you can enable, but you have to go directly now to this site, that business.google.com. You must go to this site to be able to make those changes. Everything that I've shown you already was what you could do just right in search, right? But this now is how you can do this absolutely in the backside to make some other changes. So you can do that in search. That's what I was looking for right here. Sorry, I was rambling a little bit because I wanted to show you what it looks like. I'm looking for, I want to bring it up live here. All right. It's not bringing it up. Okay, I'll have to show you that towards the end then, because it's not showing it. But when you do search and you are logged into the account that is there taking care of that actual Google Business Profile, now you can make that edits directly in search, and you can do that on your phone. But then if you need to do more complicated edits, you'll go here. Make sense to everybody? All right, I talked to you about products. You can add several in there to make a carousel. So it shows you that people are actually looking, and you'll get that information in your insights too. Perfect, I'm glad everybody's adding services. This is good, great feedback, everyone. And you can see what it looks like here when you add services. You have the opportunity, let's say you do heel repair. Working with a group that had headlight replacement lifetime guarantee. So they included that in their service. They were showing up now higher with lifetime guarantee because they're putting every single service that they have available right here, all right? And then of course, products, how they appear. think we already did this, so this might be a repeat. Oh, there, it's just showing you how it appears. So I showed you how to enter it, but this is how it appears when you're looking in Google search and maps. It can appear like this, and also your Google business profile. Now let's talk a moment about photos, all right? Because I do see a lot of people have questions, even as we were starting up. A lot of people have questions about, oh, you know, the map location is showing up at the top of my profile. I don't see, I see my customers' photos, I don't see my photos, and that really has to do with volume, okay? So Google is prioritizing the photos that are showing up there by the popularity of the photo. So of course, if you have a friend that, you know, or somebody that's a customer that has a bunch of people following them on social that just love every time that they post, and now they post it on your business profile, that photo could be getting a lot of views because people are interested in seeing what this person is doing. So even though you could be just really meticulously and constantly putting up photos for yourself, it could be that long before somebody actually sees that photo, or before a while before it rises above this more popular photo. Does that make sense? But here's the key in your photos. Make sure that you have good photos, good representation, that you consistently and constantly enter photos. So this isn't just when you set up your Google business profile. This means every week, Friday before we close, I upload photos. That's when I do photos. So I might upload 24, 44 photos, or maybe you're somebody who's good with doing it during the week. I'm not good with doing it during the week, because during the week I'm focused on something else and it takes me tremendous energy to shift gears. But I can, if I've time blocked in my calendar and said, okay, this is the hour that I do updates on all photos on all social. Well, I include Google business profile on social. Now I start uploading photos. Do I schedule them out sometimes? Absolutely. Sometimes I do. But with Google business profile, you can't schedule it out, not at least within the tool. You can use other tools to do that, but not within the tool. So just the native tool, you're going to upload photos all at one time. Still, being consistent is better than just the one-time photo dump and then expecting to get visibility from there. Okay, so this is really key to do that consistently. Again, it's going to be hard for you to compete if there's a really popular photo, but the more photos you put in, you do win by volume, that there's more visibility and you have more showcasing, more photos showcasing your business, right? Now, how you can promote your business. When you're in here, you can look at performance. This is really key. If you are not measuring, you are not marketing. How many of you have looked at your insights here? Be truthful. I won't call you out, but it's very key that if you're not measuring your marketing, then you're flying blind, because $1 1 minute spent that's not lifting the bottom line or getting you closer to your goals is $1 1 minute spent too much. I never encourage anybody to do any advertising or promotion until I know that they know their numbers, because now you're just throwing those dollars away, right? When you don't know how they'll perform or how you're going to target them. And targeting is really key, okay? So that's when you can advertise after you've had a chance to look at your performance. What's happening? Because your performance may show you that something is really working, but it's not. For example, let me bring this up here. I'm gonna bring up let me make that bigger. In fact, this is a live demo slide, or live demo tab that I've got going on. All right, I gotta make that bigger. Click and drag, here we go. Just trying to give you some more visibility because I know I'm broadcasting here. All right. So when you're in the let me make that bigger, in fact. Just heard myself say that, there we go. So on that left side is where you navigate everything. For all Google tools, that's where the navigation happens. As you're navigating here, you're going to go to insights. You will see you're taken to this insight here. They are moving, so that's happening, and it'll be different regions at different times that this is made published to your area. So just be on the lookout for it, but you can go here and say see new profile performance. Now you can look and you can decide by time when you want to actually look and measure, but you can see how many people actually came to your business profile. They looked at your Google business profile. How many calls, when you're looking down here, look down here too. You can see if they saw it on search, on mobile, on desktop, on Google Maps, or whether they saw it on Google Maps desktop. So mobile and desktop are separated. Then you can see the words that they're actually searching out to find this. If you're ever wondering, what do I post on social? Use words that you know people are already searching for. It's really much less expensive and less hard work to fish where the fish are. So if they're all over here and you're spending all your time, energy, and money to get them to look over here, you're wasting a lot of that time in educating them when you can meet them here, utilizing words that they're already letting you know are the words that they search with, which is right here. You see the searches breakdown. Now you can go up here and go to calls. You can see whether or not you've gotten phone calls from people coming through. Remember what I said, 3 phone numbers or 3 phones can be connected, not numbers. It's 1 number, but it's going to ring 3 phones. So 3 phones can be connected to your business profile. You can see the day that they're most calling and the days that you're missing calls a lot. So maybe you need to make sure you're available then, or have some sort of way for them to know, say, like if they're calling at 2 o'clock, a lot of restaurants will do this. Hey, it's 2 o'clock and we're still winding down our service. We are open for the next 30 minutes. It's, you know, so it's a recording. But if you want to reach a person, we'll be available again at 3:30. Okay. So you give them a little bit more information, which makes them think more highly of you because you're really considering how you can make it easier for them to buy from you. If anybody did messages, so that's text messages through your profile, it doesn't expose what your cell phone or your mobile number is, but it does let you know that somebody's messaged that way, and it does work like text. So it's very instantaneous and spontaneous. Know that if you wait 6 hours to respond to a text, that's not timely. You've got to be like within the first 22 minutes. Most people will say 5 minutes, but 22 minutes is what we found with social media or SMS marketing. Bookings, this is not a place that does bookings, so of course it's not going to show up here. Directions, how many people have been looking for you in your local area? This is good for you to know too. Is your local area your prime business area? And then how many people actually clicked on your website? They more interested in calling you or more interested in coming to your website, okay? So that's some of the good insights that you can see from that. I hope that was helpful for you, because I know this next slide is here that you can use. But again, this next slide just shows you one shot, and I wanted to show you a little bit more. Let's make sure I covered everything in the last slide. Yep, updates and offers. How many of you have ever done a post of updates and offers, okay, on your Google business profile? I'd love to know in the question box. Now you can promote updates. Updates are the latest, greatest. It's the news. It could be that you're getting new product in, you're trying to make a decision, do we put this massage chair here or this massage chair here? Or, oh, you know, maybe you don't have a location, but you want to take a quick photo and you want to say, look at this update. I've got something that's coming for my clients and I can't wait. I'm going to be talking about it in our next webinar, or I'm going to be talking about it in our next Facebook Live, or I'm going to be bringing it to our next skincare party. Whatever it is that you're doing, you can do an update here within your business profile. Now, do know that updates are visible for 5 business days on Google Search and Maps, 5 business days. So if you're not posting at least every 5 business days, you're losing that visibility. Now, I encourage you to post more. I mean, after all, you're posting on social. Whatever you're posting there can be repurposed and work here. The key is to remember that people that are looking on the Google business profile are looking for immediate information. So this is not about, oh, you know, do you like this or that? It could be that you are saying that, oh, we're trying to decide if we want to do this or that. So you're letting them know of a decision, but they're not playing the game this or that. And you're not saying, you know, what color do you feel like today? Unless for some reason you're involved with color therapy. Your updates are going to be more informational than more conversational and social, because social is truly that. It's social first, not media. But keep this in mind for your updates every 5 business days, because not everybody's on TikTok. Not everybody's on Instagram, but we know that 99% search on Google. So if you are making sure the information from there is here, like your YouTube shorts, now you have a great opportunity for more visibility, okay? Now, you can also put offers here. Offers are visible until the offer ends. So if I've got an offer that's available till March 31st, it's going to show up till March 31st. It will stay visible on Google Search and Maps till then. The same thing with events. If, for example, today, Tarleton State SBDC, you wanted to do this as an event, it would have been live on your Google business profile, this webinar event, until today, and then it would have fallen off. So it will be visible. The offers and events are visible till the day they actually happen. And this is what it looks like. So again, your update, think about all the different things that you could do and you can repurpose for your updates, and think what you're already purposing or putting on social and consider repurposing that for your Google business profile. And then think about your offers and events. Maybe you have an offer for first-time people who are even following you, considering to follow you here on your Google business profile. Now, you heard me mention about the words to use too. For those of you who've been in the webinar, Reach Customers Online, you've been through this, but if you're not using this to post, this is key because this is very helpful to you and it's a free tool letting you know what people search with. I encourage you to go to the insights first, but if you don't have the volume of people looking at your Google business profile yet, that will get you the information that you need. So it's not really showing the search terms they're using because you're just not getting enough eyeballs there yet. You can go to Google Trends right here. You'll go to g.co/trends, and you can use this to find out what's popular in your area or around your industry. And when I say popular, what people are searching for, or what they're saying, hey Google, hey Alexa, and searching for. Right now it's letting you know, or even what they're searching on YouTube. You can decide that. So you can start looking at relevant products around your product. You can look at trends. Maybe there's a trend that you're not aware of, especially if you're new in business. You may not, this may be your first year and you don't know what trends are happening around your industry. It could be that you're looking for keywords, or maybe just refreshing your content because you do want to fish where the fish are. So you want to use the words that people are using. Or it could be to monitor competitors. A lot of times I'll put competitors' names in there and want to see what are people using in search to get to the competitors, and can I get some of those eyeballs coming my way and use those in some of my update posts or even some of my social posts, or maybe I'll do a blog about it or a YouTube short about it. And then of course you could see exactly what is trending on YouTube, or even some trends that are longer. Let's say you have a product that has a long buying cycle. You know, how often do we buy a home? So perhaps there's a longer buying cycle and you need to look all the way back to 2004, which is when Google started tracking all this, so you could see what some of those trends are. So this is one of my favorite unsung heroes of Google because it's 100% free and people don't go to it and they don't look at it. This is usually an aha. So if you've been in the Reach Customers Online, this is not as much as an aha to you, but hopefully it's a reminder, because only 26% of businesses that have a Google business profile have a posting strategy. They don't have any plan to it. They're just flying off the cuff, and yet they structure their social post, but they don't bring that over, repurpose, or structure their Google business profile, okay? And there's so much more visibility there. You can do something simple like this. This is a way to even take what you already do and think about how can I repurpose that and add Google business profile down here as another platform. How am I going to do that? If I have a podcast that goes live, then how do I repurpose that for Facebook? I'll make it an audiogram, a video. Well, how are you going to do that also for your Google business profile? Because it does take 30-second videos. You can do photos there. You can add text. You can add a service or a product and highlight that even within an update. And then how will you interact with customers? This is also key. Make sure you respond and review messages, because you can have the best Google business profile out there, but if you don't respond to reviews and messages, then you're going to show up lower and lower, and then people aren't going to utilize you because they're going to know that you don't respond, and nobody wants to talk to anybody who doesn't respond to them. Just imagine, you know, you're a local business and you've asked people to support you locally, and they've got Amazon Prime on their phone. It's just so easy. They go in there, but they've made the conscious effort. I'm going to go to you and I'm going to do business with you. I'm going to get out and I'm going to go ahead and do it, or you're going to deliver to me, and I'm still selected somebody local. So I go and give you a great review. I tell you, man, it's amazing. You know, I didn't do all these other things that I normally do, which I could do laying in my bed, but I went ahead and did this, and I did business with you, and you're amazing. I love you, your team. You have the best products, best prices. Thank you. And then nothing. Day one, silence. Day two, silence. Day three, silence. How likely am I going to go to my friends and go, oh, it was amazing buying from so-and-so? Or am I going to say, well, yeah, I bought from them, but I mean, it didn't seem to really matter. I left them a review, and you know, they don't seem to listen. I may not even go into that much detail. They don't seem to listen because you're not responding, and that is a clue to someone that that business is not listening. How often and how much are you going to stay with a business like that? So it's really important for you to respond to customer reviews. And it could just be a thank you, just a nice thank you. Thank you for a great review. Thank you for taking time here. Thank you for the stars. Thank you for noticing. Thank you for putting your feedback here. That means the world to us. We're so happy. This is exactly how we'd like you to feel. You've made our day. So it could be just simple sentences like that. But if you've got a negative review, keep in mind that you also have to address that, as long as it's not somebody just trolling. And this is the best response to a negative review. And you've heard me talk about this before if you've been in any webinar with me. And that is, That is not the experience that we want for you. I'd like to learn more without jeopardizing your privacy. Would you contact me here? Then you could put your messenger link, your contact form link, your phone number, text number, your email address, whatever you want to put there, your WhatsApp link. Put it there so that they can contact you, because number one, it shows them that there's a person actually listening. And we like and calm down when we know somebody's listening. Number two, it takes the fight offline. You do not have enough time as a busy business owner to be constantly doing something online that's making that review more popular and showing higher in search. So take it off there. But the third is, understand a bad review could just be a request in another format, all right? So keep that in mind. You might find out something, learn something new about your business, or something that you didn't realize was a hard obstacle for your customers. So listen to them and make those adjustments and changes. But those are the three benefits of being able to use a statement like that. Then also customer messaging. Remember what I said, that's interaction. So that's like going back and forth with somebody as like a text message. Keep in mind that if somebody's messaging you, if you make that live on your profile, so you have the ability to enable it or disable it. But once it's enabled, know that people are expecting direct, complete, quick responses, okay? So that is really important. You don't want to get people upset with you about that. Now, do know in your dashboard, you can also add attributes. I encourage you to do this. This is something that we go over in the basic setup, but if you've not done this, you intended to, and maybe you overlooked it, you can say, for example, that you're veteran-owned, women-led. So you could put all of these attributes in, because people sometimes are searching in that way. They want to be more supportive of veteran-owned businesses. So they might be choosing to use and do business with a veteran, all right? Now, do know you can also add users, right? Please know that do not give your Google business or your Google profile away, or your Google account password away to anyone. You can add users. You can add somebody who is also an owner. You're the primary owner, so you're the one who can shut down everybody and shut them out. As an owner, they can do everything that you can do, but they can't shut you down or shut you out. And then you can also decide that you want a manager to work. So a manager can do everything that you can do, except they can't shut you down, shut you out, or add additional people. But do know that some businesses you work with will need to add either additional people if you're working with an agency, or maybe yourself, you need additional people just because you're very busy business people, right? All right. Now, what questions do you have? Because it's really important for you to understand that this is just a part of the journey somebody takes, because people utilize a lot of tools when they're searching. Let's see what questions you have. Let me know in the question box. I do want to show you a couple of things that people get home. Okay, great, perfect timing. Look at that. Marianne, perfect timing. Okay, so Marianne had a question about linking your profile, your Google business profile with Google Ads. And I'm going to address her question, but do know that we are almost at the top of the hour. So if you need to go, I absolutely do understand. I appreciate you being here. I do want to say thank you to our Google business partners. Sorry, I said business profile so many times, right? But Google business partners who made this happen, which is America's SBDC at Tarleton State, Texas Tech University, Northwest Texas SBDC Network, the REI Women's Business Center in Southeastern Oklahoma, Tomball Community Library at Lone Star College. Karen, thank you. Texarkana Chamber of Commerce, Transition Skills Training, Julie, and Jamestown Regional Entrepreneur Center. Thank you very much for being here. Now let me get into questions. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.